Hi, ladies. Jackie Sabrin here. Thanks for joining me tonight for my live Facebook coaching call. And before we get started, I want you to remember to go to my YouTube channel, Engaged at Any Age, and subscribe so you never miss a video. Okay, so tonight I want to talk about why urgency ruins dating. And it's really better said, it's really just being desperate. It's really just being a desperate dater. That's the same thing. And so let's talk about this desperation that you can feel, and it's normal. I remember feeling desperate. So if you've ever felt desperate, if you're feeling desperate right now, or there's some kind of urgency, you feel like you're too old, it's too late, there's no good men, any of that kind of negative thinking, it's putting you in that desperation category. And so the desperate dater is driven by fear, right? Fear. And you're not listening to your inner voice if you're driven by fear, because fear is up in your head and love is what you are and your intuition. So if you're really worried about this, you're definitely driven by fear right now. I want to help you step out of that. And so what some of the things that make you a desperate dater, I'm going to give you some bullets and then talk about what it doesn't look like. So what it looks like is you start to toss your requirements right out the window, right? You might, you definitely are thinking that maybe the best years are behind you or it's too late for you. That's a sign that you're getting into that desperate feeling. And then, and also that, you know, maybe you should just settle for much less just so that you don't end up alone. That's the rationale of a desperate dater, the rationalize that your mind tells you because you're feeling desperate because you're sourcing from fear. Remember, I said it's all fear-based. And so a desperate dater is pretty much saying, please love me. Please love me. Somebody please love me, because you don't love yourself enough to do the work that you need to do to fill up your own cup. And from that place, find somebody, find love, because you already have become love. So you're still operating on the glass is half empty instead of half full mentality. And so, you know, you're just scared that you're going to be dumped. That's another thing. You're clinging and you're holding on really tightly. If you're dating somebody, or if you go out with somebody, or even if you go out on one date, you might ask them questions, prying questions like, you know, what did you do last night? Or who were you with? Or who was there? That would be an indicator that you're kind of moving into that desperation. And what happens is you end up pushing men away in that process, because when you're asking all those questions, that's a really uncomfortable for the other person. And so you want to watch that. You remember that song by, what was it, 38 Special? You know, hold on loosely, but don't let go. If you cling too tight, you might lose control. I love that song. That's an 80s song. And so that's really pretty much sums it up. So desperate daters also need constant relationship status updates. You constantly want to know where you are. Where do we stand? Always asking him to talk about it. And that will definitely push your man away, because you're not feeling confident about the relationship, but really you're just not feeling confident about yourself. And another thing that you might do if you're feeling a little desperate is you might fish for compliments. You might ask the guy, so how do I look? Do you like these jeans? Do you like the way they look on me? Do you like my hair? That's really a sign that you're feeling a little desperate and you need external validation. So we have to move away from needing external validation. All validation needs to come from within. Sure, it's wonderful to get a compliment, but we can't rely on that. We have to rely on ourselves as our own sense of worth and value. And that comes from validating, giving value to yourself and not depending on external sources, because they're always going to let you down. No one can hold you as the object of their attention 24/7. It's just impossible. They have their own life. And so keep an eye on that. So also you might be dropping your standards. You might be going out with guys that are not, you know, that are below where you are, you know. So you want to look at your standards and are you making exceptions? And, you know, there's tons of, it's called settling, right? So I like the word settle. I think it's great when you meet a great guy and you settle, because I always say, okay, settled, now pull the trigger. But there's also settling, and you're settling for less than what you know you deserve, what you have on your list, the things you've been dreaming about. You're getting a little desperate, so you're starting to lower your standards. So that's another sign. And so it's really the opposite of someone who just knows and trusts and is taking all the action steps to assure that you are going to be with someone. That's someone who is not desperate. You are absolutely sure, because you know how you can be sure, because you're doing the things you need to do to have the things you want to have. Be, do, have. That's a creation trilogy. And so let's look at some of the things that that you need to be doing that doesn't make you look desperate, that comes from a place of knowing that you are going to meet someone. And so here's some of the things that would be things that I recommend. That you're not so available. Okay, you have a life. You have a busy life. You have things going on. And so somebody calls you at the last minute. You can accept the invitation, or you can say, I'm sorry, I already have plans, even if you're just sitting on the couch, but let's make plans for this weekend. So that shows that you have a life, and that makes you more desirable because you're not so available. And another piece is you're not needing constant validation, right? You don't need constant validation. You're secure in who you are, how you look, and so when it happens, you're like pleasantly surprised. You're like, thank you. That's very nice. And so you're not depending on other people to fill your cup. And also you are going to make your friends a priority. I know when you're dating and you're looking for love, you have to balance that out. You can't spend so much time with your single friend, but you do have to have a balance. You can't just drop all your single friends. You need them for your support, right? They're your support. So you're not going to just bail on them until you find a man. And another thing that's really important is you're not going to accept less than perfect behavior from men. You're not going to tolerate bad treatment. That's just unacceptable. You're going to vote with your feet when you're being mistreated on a date, especially if you're on a date. Don't ever hesitate. If a man's making you feel uncomfortable, if anything's happening on the date, for you to just stand up and excuse yourself, go to the restroom and leave. You can text him if you'd like, or you can just stand up and say, I'm sorry, I don't feel a connection. I hate to do this to you, but I got to follow my gut and I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to say goodnight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Vote with your feet, turn around and walk away. Make sure you always do that. And that's just such an important thing. Don't allow a man to mistreat you. Have healthy boundaries. And so here's the irony with all of this. You'd think with all of that list that I just shared with you of what you want to be doing would make it harder for you to find someone, right? Because you have all these guidelines. Well, guess what? The higher your standards, the more rules, the less available you are, the more infinitely likely you are you're going to end up in a great relationship, because you're not the woman who's pretzeling herself or doing backflips to please a man, which is a turnoff to men. And so you need to drop the feelings of desperation, that sense of urgency, because it's working against you. And so here's how you're going to do this. Ladies, I have this amazing opportunity for you that I want you to take advantage of right now. Those of you who are watching my live Facebook, I created a 5-week accelerated course just for you to help you address these feelings, this exact situation, getting out of feeling desperate, getting out of feeling hopeless, getting out of feeling fear. All of these things are sabotaging your efforts. So no matter how hard you're trying, if you have any fears, if you don't have the proper mindset, if you don't have any strategy, if you don't have any action steps, if you don't understand how dating process even works, how to make an emotional connection with a man, it is going to take you forever. And that is certainly the long path. What I'm offering you right now is the short path. And it's my Bridge to Love 5-week accelerated course. It starts in February. But I have an early bird enrollment right now. As soon as you enroll, you are going to receive a ton of bonuses. All of my trainings are on digital, they're on video and PDFs. You're going to receive $2,000 worth of bonuses that will get you started, get you going right now, and also create some momentum for you. And so normally the price is $197, which is totally a deal. But for those of you watching it, I've dropped the price for an early bird special to $97. You can get the entire program, $2,000 with the bonuses, a 5-week course where I'm teaching you once a week for an hour in an interactive live call. It's not a recorded call, it's a live call where we're going to address this, how to create intimacy, how to create a connection, how to stay out of fear, how to recognize when you're going into fear, how to banter with men, how to be a visionary and not just an observer. I want you to be a visionary. A visionary thrives in all times, not just when things are going well. You need to step into that visionary mode and take that short path. So I'm offering you this opportunity for $97. It's only up for 24 hours. If you are interested in taking me up on that offer, you can just private message me, or you can go to bridgetoloveclub.com. bridgetoloveclub.com. The cart's right there. Make your purchase. You're going to receive all of this information from me, and I'm going to add you to my private Facebook group where I'm going to be coaching you up until that February 14th date that it starts. And I'm excited about launching it on Valentine's Day because a lot of you are single. And so I'm dedicating my Valentine's Day this year to you. It's on a Wednesday night, 5:30 to 6:30 Pacific, and we're going to dive right into intimacy and all these amazing topics so I can really coach you, guide you, and lead you, get you to from where you are, getting you out of this feeling of desperation, because it's going to take you a lot longer. So we've got to bolster your belief and give you some support so you can have what you want this year. Okay, this year, get engaged at any age. That's what it's all about. So drop a PM in the box in the private message that you want to have that opportunity, or go to bridgetoloveclub.com. Sign up right now. You're going to receive some emails from me, and we're going to start to connect, and I'm going to help you get to the other side of feeling this kind of desperation, because it is just not where you want to be, ladies. It sends men running, and I know that's not what your intention is. I know you want love in your life more than anything. And so I hope this was helpful, ladies, and I hope you have an amazing, amazing weekend, and I will see you next week right here on my Facebook Live. Lots of love to you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Engaged at Any Age, so you never miss one of my training videos. Lots of love. Bye-bye.